answer.
Okay.
It's free to you because they'll find your Remax connection, so.
Right.
But we go over here and log in. Logins are easy. If you ever have a problem logging in, just let me know.
Okay.
I have access to the back end. To help you out. So, archive record. Wow. Wonder what that is. Okay. So, what you do, this will save all of your CMAs, okay? You may want to come in and purge them from time to time because it has the dates it was created, so Pebblebrook I could probably delete. That house sold a long time ago. But, so anyway, you have your home, you have the CMAs. Mine looks different up here than you guys, but there are the different types of CMAs, addresses, developments. This allows you to edit it, and then this one allows you to download it, and this one will delete it, okay? And up here you come up to create a new CMA, and it's either going to be a buyer CMA or a seller CMA. The only difference are the net sheets at the end. Otherwise, they're both exactly the same. So, does anyone have a property that they want us to do an analysis on? Your house?
I can do my house.
Okay, so we'll have you get buyer. I'm going to seller. What's your address?
25727 Meadow House Court.
Okay.
Well, all one word.
Meadow House is one word.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you don't put in the court.
Okay.
Okay, so you just put in Meadow House, and then you can put in the city and state if you want, but it automatically will do that if you put in the tax, the zip code. So it's zip code 20152?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what you do is you hit Get Tax Record, right next to that. So this is going to be, it'll let you know the success I retrieved it. So now it has information in here. One thing you're going to find out is that tax records are oftentimes wrong. Okay? So this goes into MLS and pulls data, and it also goes into the tax records and pulls data. So when you're getting ready to do a CMA, it is a good time for you to call the seller. Hey Scott, I'm getting ready to put together the CMA on your property. Can you tell me a couple of things? How many levels is your house? So, Tricia, how many levels?
Well, it's just above ground, right? Well,
No, it's all, it'd be including the basement.
okay, then it's 3.
3 levels. Okay? And then how many bedrooms do you have?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5.
5 bedrooms, and you have 5.5 bathrooms?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. How many garages? do you have?
Wait. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, yes.
5.5. Okay, great. And how many garages?
1.
1 garage?
Oh, well, 3, but it's just one
That's a
big.
3-car garage?
Yeah, 3-car garage.
Yes.
Question, so it's how many cars fit in the
How many
garage,
cars fit in the
not how
garage?
many-
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
bathrooms. And only a shower, I've heard it referred to as 3/4, is that full or half?
It's full here.
Okay,
Yep, other parts of the country, it's 3/4.
okay, so it's
Yeah.
full, okay.
So we count that as a full. Good question. Okay, so if you have a picture of the house because you've driven by it, you can upload the picture here. If not, it'll just go to Bing Maps and pull down the map. Next, we go to, and then at that time, you'll say, so, have you upgraded the bathrooms? Have you upgraded the kitchen? You know, what improvements have you made in the last 3 years to increase the property's value?
The house type was left blank, is that important or not?
So what we can do is you go over here to previous, and the house type, yes, that's blank. You don't have to have that
You mean like
information
the
in there.
model number or, oh, the house type?
It's
like
Virginia,
single
it's a
family.
colonial.
Right, yes, exactly. So, you don't have to have that in. for sure. Okay, so now, Poland Road property, really. Do you have a lot of houses for sale in your neighborhood, or that are sold in your neighborhood?
No, not really. I mean, our address is South Riding, but it's not part of the proprietary, so it's called South Village where we
Oh,
are.
you're South Village,
Yeah.
okay. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare you to properties in South Riding.
I think one did just sell, but that was like the first one that has sold in like forever.
What you typically wanna do is you wanna keep it as narrow as possible, so South Village isn't gonna come up.
Okay.
Right, so, and then this is where you'd want to put it in your style, especially like if you're in Annandale, Fairfax City, where there's ramblers and split floors and split levels and stuff like that. Definitely in a neighborhood like South Riding, you want to put it detached, okay? And so this is going to probably give us too many houses, but we can see. You want to do close date, 90 days plus, and the reason you do 90 days back is because that's what an appraiser is going to use. And then you always like to pull up ones that did not sell, 90 plus. So I'm sure we're going to come up with a lot, and then we'll go back and we'll narrow it down some more. So then you hit the search button. And it'll probably say exceeded 100 properties.
Yeah.
But just so you know.
We just had appraised too, so it's interesting.
Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, so that's good. Some people like to search by polygon, so if you want to do polygon search, you can do
What
that.
is that? What is that? Search by-
It's like a map, and you go from one point to another
Oh,
point to another
okay,
point and
okay.
over. That's if you're doing like an unusual neighborhood, and you want to stay on one side of the road,
Okay.
you know, for that reason. So you can go through and you can click them all individually, or you can come up here and click it, and it clicks all, okay? Now, what I like to do personally is I like to add them all and go in and eliminate them in the program versus trying to eliminate them before I put them in the program. But that's a personal preference. You then hit Add Items to CMA. And so we have 16 active, 18 under contract, 29 sold, and only 5 expired or withdrawn. So just initially, that's a good market, right? You have more sales, solds, and under contracts than you do active properties. So that's going to be a good market, because that's going to be a question that you're going to have to answer later. So we will say okay, and then you go next. All right, so here you can see we have the street, the development, the style, age, bedrooms, bathrooms, half baths, number of levels, number of garages, if there's a finished basement or not, square footage, lot size, days on market, original price, tax assessed value, whoops, and then their list price, and then this will be other data that we'll look at later. The other thing is it has the list price to tax assessed value ratio, and then list price to original list price in case they reduced it, and then if it's a distressed property or not. So in here you can see there's 2 distressed properties, and we're not going to use those because they're distressed. All right? Now typically what I like to do is I like to keep the properties of similar size. I think that's a big differentiator. But you can see, you know, you're 5,400 square feet, there's nothing else that's close,
And I forgot to say that it's 6 bedrooms, not 5.
okay? So,
So there might not be another.
all right, so then what we can do is we come back, whoops. Well, why don't we do that then? There we go. Go to subject property, and just put in 6 bedrooms. And then we go back to the actives. And you put in, I'm gonna keep the biggest ones possible,
Okay.
so I'll say 3,300 square feet and up at this point, just to give us a benchmark. These other ones are all gonna be too small. Now, if you click one by mistake, you can always go back and you can reclaim it from recycle bin. So you hit recycle selected items. Okay. So, here is our subject properties: 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 1 half bath, 3 levels, 3-car garage, the square footage, lot size, and tax assessed value ratio. And then these are the comparables and what their averages are, okay? So they're a little bit older, less bedrooms, less bathrooms, fewer garages, there's no 3-car garages, square footage is smaller. So this is gonna be a challenging one, just because there's nothing like it in the neighborhood, okay? So, down here, this is where it gives you the ability to come up with the sales price, okay? So, square foot price, it says $1,064,000, and then tax assessed value ratio says 947, but then down here we have adjusted, and what that's done is it's gone to the sold properties and said, okay, based upon where the property's sold, this is where it should really be adjusted to price-wise. So, we have $1,064,000 and $915,000. So what do you think would be a good starting place for this property, price-wise, based upon these numbers?
Would you go somewhere in the middle, or would you?
You could go someplace in the middle just to start and then make adjustments later.
Well, I want to know how much updating has been
Well,
done in
yeah.
the house recently before I decided if I'm going to start high and go low, or go low and go high, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we would have you, yeah, so when you make that call to the seller, so what's your answer? Have you done anything in the last 3 years? Or is it average?
It's pretty much average, yeah.
Okay.
Really done.
Right in the middle, right?
Okay.
It had a lot of updates to begin with, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, but how old is the home?
2006.
It's 11 years old.
Yeah.
Not too old.
Is that brass?
Hmm?
Brass?
Does it have brass?
Brass or polished nickel?
Nickel.
Nickel.
That's huge right there.
Huh?
That is huge right there. I don't
Yeah.
understand people not changing that out, but that's me.
It's expensive.
Actually, not as expensive if you
So let's
take
go
a can of
985.
spray paint and you take it all down and you spray paint it and put it back.
Right.
$5.
All right.
And
So now we're gonna have a bunch. All right. So this will be a good thing.
so you went in.
The other thing that you should do is you should go in
Okay.
to Matrix. So you can all, whoa, how come that didn't work?
I don't, you gotta click it, yeah. I don't think it clicked. So you decide on the site, so you went right in the middle.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
because it's a 17-year-old house.
Right.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, over here, again, we have 0 square footage, right? 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, it's built around the same time. Lot size is smaller, tax assessed value is less. Over here, this is the MLS printout. So you click on that. And you can go in and you can look at pictures to compare. If you think it's going to be a good house to compare yours to or not. Dark. So if you like that one, you can figure out what the square footage is in tax records, right? 25736. 25736. What was the street?
Southbridge?
3540, so that's gonna be one of the bigger ones, so I think you should keep it. Okay, then you come over here, you hit the pencil to edit.
Yeah, that's a South Village one too.
What's that?
Selbridge is South Village, I think.
Okay, so square footage, 3540. Also, what this allows you to do is to go in and add it for sale by owner if you wanted to add it for sale by owner. If you knew of a good comp for that. So we just updated that one. Now we'll go square footage again, because I see a 1,900 square foot one. Okay, so we're getting closer. Still $200,000, what's the assessed value? So we'll go from here down. See, at the beginning I could have done the same thing, but I always like to look at it this way. So again, it's a personal preference. So 2001, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, 3 levels. They have finished basements, 3,800 versus 54. Smaller lots. Man, that one's got a big lot. So we're 635 versus 841 and 709 sales price. So in here it says 940 and 1,016,000. So you want to split the difference again? So we'll go 970. And then we have a bunch of solds. Let's get some big ones. Not really. So let's say you hit one by mistake. You can come over here and you can show your recycled items. And it has all the other ones, okay? So you can always bring one back and you hit restore if you wanted to do that. Okay. So, now we have nothing really similar size-wise. And nothing really similar tax assessed value-wise. Well, at least there's 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, still no 3-car garage. But based upon these numbers that we have, 945 and 1,069,000, we're just going to crunch the middle again. 55, 9, 1,010,000. Okay, now these houses didn't sell. There's a big one there, 4,000, they're asking 900. So, we'll get rid of this one's small. So is that one.
How many do you usually have? Like, what's the standard?
You'd like to have, the appraiser's gonna want 3 minimum
Okay,
for the solds.
okay.
And, but the seller is gonna know about every house that's sold. So you should have as many as you can in there in the same general size.
Mhm.
But when you meet with the appraiser, you'll break it down. The other thing that we have over here is a map of where the houses are located that we're comparing to in the subject property. Okay? Now we have the price. Just like that. So, sales prices, it comes out to $983 average. Square foot price is $1,050,000, and tax assessed value is $943. So we're pretty much right in the middle. Let's say that you think that the square footage price is a little bit off. You can change these numbers to whatever ratio you want. You can make one 100% and the other two zeros, or you can do 40, 20, 40, but they all have to equal 100, okay? Then you update the price, and now it's down to 980, okay? So just think you can change those things if you want. Usually you do that when there's one, if this one was like 953 and 943, you might do 45, 45, and 10. Because it's really, it's off. And then how do we say the market condition was?
That's good.
Poor, not good, average, good, or excellent?
Excellent.
You say excellent?
All right, now the market conditions, yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, wait a minute, so it's excellent for things going 600 and below, but then again, depending on where you're buying, 600, like you said the other day, 600 in Woodbridge is different than 600 in Fairfax.
I'm gonna give it a 4, actually. And then property condition, we said was good or average or?
Good.
Good. And then the lot, how's your lot?
It's good. We back up to like an open area.
Backs up to open area. And then you update the price. So that 1,123. Think it's worth $1 million?
Oh, we just appraised at that.
See, program works.
It does. It was very close to what we appraised at.
Well, Scott, what would be an example of, what do you have to do to get to a 5 for a lot size / view?
I think that if you're backing to a pond, if you're, back into open common area or back into parkland, those will get you 5s versus backing to other houses. Or if there's just like a common area strip that's not treed in between your house and the other house, you might give that a little bit more than an average lot.
Okay.
So that might be a 4, but 5's anything that is gonna be really nice.
And what would it have to be a 1? You back
It backs
into
to power lines,
Okay.
yeah, or it backs to a major road. Yeah. So good questions. Okay, so here, this is gonna go back 0 to 2 months, 2 to 4 months, and 4 to 6 months, and let us know about sales prices and days on market in both the zip code and the neighborhood, average list price in the zip code and neighborhood, as well as the number of contracts they had, and then active listings in the zip code and neighborhood, closed price to original list price, and the zip code in the neighborhood. So this sometimes can take a little bit of time. Just going back and researching that out. So you can see how the market is trending, right? So we can see here, man, days on the market have gone from 30 down to 14. So that's a pretty good market. We had the net sales price went from 97 to 99. So again, good market. Days on the market, 38 down to 8 in the neighborhood versus the zip code. So the neighborhood's outperforming the zip code. And then average list price is staying about the same, as is the neighborhood is staying about the same. And then month supply in the zip code is 1.5, and in the neighborhood it's less than a 1 month supply. So that's definitely a 4+ neighborhood. But I think because of your price point, that's going to be a little bit slower, because the rest of the neighborhood, you can see here, average sales price is $615, and you're almost double that. And then this is the closed price, so you can see even 150 days out it was at 94, now it's at 99. And then same in the neighborhood, it was 93 and it's at 99. And again, there's been a lot of sales, so that's good. And then these will give you those things by graph. So there are houses that sold 0 to 30 days are getting 99%. If you're, I'm sorry, so this was incorrect. So 0 to 30 days, you're getting 99% of list price. If you're on the market 150 days or more, you're getting 94%. So this is how many contracts that happen and then where those prices come out to be. So if you stay on the market a long time, you're going to sell, 150 days on the market, you're going to sell for $950. So that's the importance of pricing it right from the start. So when you have a house like this, you're going to put in where the sales prices should be. So if the eventual sales price is $1,010,000 or maybe $1 million, you probably start at $1,025,000. and you might get 975 just because it's higher than everything else in the neighborhood. And then you ask them, when you talk to them about the condition and upgrades and things like that, you ask them how much they owe, so they owe $652, $150. And then you put in your commission and the selling agent's commission, and then the settlement fees. Usually I say it's about $750. If you use that number, it's a good number to have. And it's $50 to release a lien at the county. This is if you have well and septic and it has some repairs that need to be made. Or if you're in a first-time home buyer, price point, oftentimes you'll have to pay for points or closing costs for the buyer. Recording a release is $50. And then the grantor's tax and congestion relief fee are $2.50 per thousand of the sales price. Test inspections are $35 to $50, so I always put in 50. And if they get a home warranty, which we always recommend, is $550. And then they have HOA docs that they have to get. And the HOA docs are $375. And then you come over here and you calculate, and it gives you, oops, that's a really big loan amount. That's a short sale. And you calculate again, and it shows you at $1,025,000. We really think it's going to sell probably in this range here, so you're probably going to get, $290 to $295 as a net. So that gives you your down payment on the next house. And then you can download the report and print it if you want, or you can email to multiple people and just hit email there. So in a half hour you have a comprehensive CMA. And it works because it appraised close to what the home price was said. Do you guys have any questions on that? So the thing to do is to go in and play with it. Scott, have you gone? You can go in and put your profile in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me show you what it looks like. So let's do that actually now. So we'll download the report. You don't have to print it. So that's where it's located. There's your open common area back there, right? And then this is your talking. So when you go in, you add your picture and your phone number and all that stuff. That'll pop up and has a logo. You can change these colors if you want. The good thing is this has the date of when it was created, so if you have to go back and look, like 6 months later, you'll know what the information was. So there's your actives, your under contracts, and your sold properties. And then that's a little key as to what those abbreviations are up top. Then they're the ones that expired. And then there's the pricing. And their days on market. And then the net prices in the graphs. And then, whoops. And then the net sheet. So it's about 99% accurate on pricing. The only time you have issues is when you have a unique property, and it's going to be hard to price anyway. But
I have a question on garages.
okay,
Three-car garage, does it have to have, so there are garages being built that they're adding, they call it a three-car, but you're this way, you're still a two-door,
right?
but you have,
That's a 2-car garage.
it is considered a two-car garage, okay.
Wait, if it's 2 doors, it's 2 doors?
They're making them
You could
So
fit
you-
car behind
you could-
car.
car behind car like this. So there's 2 doors,
Oh, okay.
but you could put 3 cars in it.
Oh, okay, that's too
So
far.
that's really a 2-car garage.
Because ours only has 2 doors, but you can.
One is a double door.
Yeah.
Scott, if you prepared a CMA for a prospective client, and they declined to list for a while,
Mm-hmm.
at what point would you say enough time has passed, I need to do this again?
About 90 days.
90, okay.
Yeah.
So they call you back within 2 months, you just go with what you already did?
Yeah,
Unless something dramatic has taken
Right.
place?
Yeah, usually it's, I still go in and I'll do it in 2 months. I'll save this one, I'll start a new one, so I have that reference point to see where the market was. So I just had somebody that decided not to move, and we met 2 years ago, and their price was 7.25. This year was 8.25, and they still didn't want to move. It was over on Lemon Tree.
Wow.
Based strictly on what they could get for their house?
Hmm?
They were making their decision not to move?
That was part of it, and the other part was moving to Florida, whether or not they wanted to uproot the family and go down there, and they decided against it. So the best thing to do is just go in and practice, find a townhouse address or a former address that you had, and go in and just keep working it until you get comfortable with it. And if you want to meet, we can do it separately. I can walk you through everything. Okay? Any other questions or concerns that you guys have about the market or anything?
I mean, what if you really can't find anything that's comparable? I mean,
If you can't find anything that's comparable, it's,
like if it's just like
you're gonna have to go pretty much